Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Let me tell you a story about a brilliant writer and director named John Hughes. He recently passed away, but what he left behind will last forever. He directed such classics like The Breakfast Club, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and so forth. He also was a talented writer, writing screenplays for the National Lampoon Vacation movies, Home Alone, Pretty in Pink, and many more. Yes, John Hughes certainly seemed like the voice of a generation. Then Home Alone 2 came around. He wrote it, and it sucked. Then Baby's Day Out came around. He wrote it, and it sucked. Then 101 Dalmatians, Flubber, Just Visiting, Dennis the Menace, that shitty-ass Miracle on 34th Street remake, all written by him! What happened? He was like the voice, and then he got lost to the slapstick-inspired shit. Or slap shit, as I like to call it. But none of them are as bad as the crowning achievement of horror that is simply known as Home Alone 3. This is a film where even if you saw the previews, you felt dirty. How could such a great writer stoop to such an insulting, demeaning, and absolutely unentertaining low? Well, let's see if we can figure it out. This is Home Alone 3. So the movie starts with the typical Home Alone music, followed by the typical Home Alone credits, taking place in the typical Home Alone setting. Hong Kong! Literally, the first minute completely misses the idea of the franchise.
$10 million for the missile chip.
Sounds like your clients want to build a missile that can't be detected by radar.
Whoever possesses this chip could dominate the entire region.
What is this, Die Hard 5? What does this have to do with Home Alone?
That's what you asked for. Air Force NSB 100 C Series. Where's my money?
Seriously, how did we go from a kid being left at a house to weapons espionage? That's a pretty big fucking leap.
Here, hide it in the toy car. We'll slip it right past airport security.
Oh great, you know, it's because of bungholes like you that we have to take our shoes off at the checkpoint. But unfortunately, the bag gets switched with some lady, and the spies panic in order to find it.
She's leaving.
So they get the number of the cab through their glove cam as they pin down the area where the woman was dropped off. And seeing how it's a John Hughes movie, my guess is it's in a Chicago suburb where everybody is rich, quirky, and white. Oh, what a shock!
All done, Mrs. S.
You were supposed to deal with the snow promptly, weren't you?
Yes, but
Butts are for ashtrays.
I don't care for excuses. We had an understanding, and you broke it. Your word is worthless.
sorry, that would be no charge, Mrs. S.
So you can tell the neighborhood I stiffed you on a snow removal job.
Sheesh, this woman's as compassionate as a punch to my ballsack.
Consider this your payment. I have no use for the silly thing.
Thank you.
This little boy is Alex, not Kevin. Alex. He doesn't even know Kevin. That's because Kevin's not in this movie. None of the original characters are in this movie. This is because nothing about this movie has anything to do with Home Alone, despite the fact that it carries the name Home Alone. So, why does it carry the name Home Alone? Because it's a goddamn horrible movie! So it turns out Alex has the chicken pox, which means he has to stay home from school. Hey look, Scarlett Johansson's his sister. I already made a Lost in Translation joke in North, so let's move on. As Alex stays at home, he starts looking through a telescope at Mrs. Hess's house with his pet rat Doris.
Look, Doris.
You know, I'm actually trying to envision the great John Hughes writing scenes like that. And then the mouse looks through the telescope and sees a cat. It's just a cat on the TV screen, but nevertheless, he gets scared. John Hughes, you've done it again. Where's my whiskey? So the spies rent a house on the street, as they know the old woman lives on the road, but they don't know which house. And wouldn't you know it, both parents have to leave the house, as the father always goes on business trips, and the mother has to make a last-minute presentation at her job.
I'll be gone an hour at the very most. I called Mrs. Hess and told her you'll be alone. She said if anything comes up, she'll be right over.
Well, wait a minute, why doesn't she just have Mrs. Hess watch him? Your kid is sick and all alone. Who cares if she's a bitch? She's still a babysitter, you whore. Alright, well, despite that obvious leap in stupidity, Alex continues to look through his telescope. through his telescope, he comes across the spy sneaking into one of the houses. Like a reasonably smart kid, he calls 911, but the spies escape before the cops can see him.
Freeze!
Nah, that's too dark, That was the old John Hughes. This is the new quirky, lighthearted John Hughes. Let's see. Oh, I know! The dog actually freezes in place. Delightful. Where's my Epson? So both the mother and the cops think Alex made up what he saw and don't look into it any further. But wouldn't you know it, the spies break into another house the next day. Well, that's okay though, because we know that the parents stayed home this time. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. They left again? What kind of parents are these? Do they leave their fucking medicine in the toy chest as well? Abort. So once again, he calls the cops, the spies get away, and nobody believes him.
I saw a burglar yesterday and I saw a burglar today.
There was no one in that house.
But there was some thing on the wing. So he figures it's time to take matters into his own hands.
First the Steffens, then Mrs. Hess. I agree, Doris. The next stop is the Alcott's house. What kind of a burglar goes into a house and doesn't take anything? Do you know what I think? I think they're looking for something special. And they're looking in everybody's house because they don't know who has it.
Yes, it appears we need more than elementary in this matter. Doris, fetch me my violin!
So Alex gets a video camera and some duct tape as the parents leave him for a third time! Alright, this is comical now. I mean really comical. Remember what a big deal it was in the first film when they left him behind?
How could we do this? We forgot him.
Just horrible.
What kind of mother am I?
And now it's just like,
Have fun while I'm gone, son! Be sure to stay away from the rat poison I keep under your pillow!
So with a camera, duct tape, and a few wires, Alex manages to get his own wireless security network. The 5-year-old now has a portable wireless security network. The realism in this movie just fucking astounds me. So he sneaks his camera into the next house that the spies are looking through. Yeah, thank God none of the houses have babies, toddlers, or stay-at-home parents. Sort of lucked out on that front. But one of the spies finds the car as Alex tries to think of a plan to distract them.
Bring, bring!
Hello, this is Karen.
Hi, how's it going? I think boat ships are overvalued.
And then he trains the parrot. He trains the parrot to record a fake message on the answering machine. But that plan seems to backfire as the spies get the car and examine the video recorder on top.
It's a video camera. Someone's on to us.
Wait, now just hear me out. What if it's a 5-year-old boy who wired a security system in his own house? Oh, come on, that's something John Hughes would come up with if he was on Quaaludes. Did I really just write that? Where's the Quaaludes? So even though they get the tape, Alex drives the car away with the chip inside. They partake in a little chase, we have ourselves a little slapstick, yuck. As Alex discovers the chip inside the car. Again, to his credit, he reports it to a member of the military, and even though they don't believe him, he gives them the number on the chip. But the bad guys find out where Alex lives as, now prepare yourself, the parents leave again! I don't even care anymore. If you want your kid to be milk carton of the week, that's your problem.
Hello.
This time, however, they do ask Mrs. Hess to watch him, but only after they left, which is still pretty damn stupid, especially considering how the bad guys find her and tape her to a chair. Parents of the year or morons? Morons. So of course it's up to our friggin' boy genius to save the day. First he tries to trick the woman by controlling the dog with a dog whistle. He doesn't have a dog, but he has a dog whistle. I'm sure he just buys cat food for fun too.
I repeat, there is no movement inside. Permission to enter.
The other spies tried to get through the back, but of course he has traps for them too. Actually, that's the second John Hughes farting joke I've seen in a week. The other one being in Flubber. Why is he all about the strange things coming out of people's butts?
I just think we're having an off day.
Hunger? Oh no! It's not like I can just walk away from the water. That will coincide with my phobia of not walking away from the water. Oh damn my extremely odd and unbelievably rare neuroses.
So yeah, we get the traps just like in the other two movies, but these traps are like really friggin' precise. Like he has to know exactly what spot they're gonna be on and not be a centimeter off.
Gotcha!
And look at this, he cuts holes in the house. How the hell did he do that? Did he call Ace Hardware to set these up?
Ouch.
Watch this scene. It's not even funny. It's like something out of a horror movie. Jesus. And of course, we have pratfall after pratfall after pratfall.
Just turn the crank and snap the plank and boot the marble right down the chute. Now watch it roll and hit the pole and knock the ball in the rubber duck tub, which hits the man into the pan. The trap is set. Here comes the net. Ouch! Nice trap. I guarantee it's the craziest trap you'll ever see.
Believe it or not, the mother actually calls in the middle of all this, and Alex says that everything is fine.
Honey, you're all out of breath. Is something wrong?
No, everything's fine.
Oh yeah, just fighting for terrorists and fleeing for my life. But don't worry, you have deadlines to meet. But it turns out the number on the chip got to higher authorities as they pull Alex's mother and his siblings aside for questioning.
It's Alex. It's my other son. Why, what's happened?
He may be in danger.
Maybe I shouldn't have left him alone 18 times.
He's not here. He's at home.
Let's move.
Why is he in danger?
We think he intercepted a top-secret electronic device stolen from a Defense Department contractor by a group of international criminals working for a North Korean terrorist organization.
Period. Meanwhile, the mayhem continues at home.
You know, you little rat!
I got it!
Say, you ever notice that the secret agents suck?
Recognize this?
How did he get outside?
The same way you're gonna get outside.
Carl.
Is it me or did he turn to Christopher Walken there?
Carl. I don't know.
So without giving too much away, oh, who the fuck cares? They scream and get hurt. Surprise! So he frees Mrs. Hess as the cops finally arrive and take the spies away.
Oh, Alex. I'm so sorry.
Oh, for what? Every possible thing a parent can do wrong?
7 years I've been after this guy. He always manages to slip away.
And now a 5-year-old catches him. This is the worst day of my life.
Thanks.
Wait a minute, there's still one more spy on the loose. But it's okay, a parent operating a toy car, lighting a match, and setting off a series of explosions has it totally under control. Dr. fucking Doolittle couldn't get an animal to do all that! So after all is said and done, what does the film finally end on? The father giving his son a race car as a gift. Oh, the irony! Oh, the irony.
Gentlemen, start your engines. Ran overboard.
There! I did it! I finally did it! I wrote the worst Home Alone script ever! I know I'm contractually obligated to write at least one more movie, but the script is so bad that no studio would ever buy it! What are we gonna do? Hire the director of Beverly Hills Chihuahua to direct it? No studio's that stupid! John Hughes, you're a genius!
We'll take it.
My career is over! Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Well, it's Christmas Eve, and that means meeting up with your friends and loved ones. And trying to stop them from killing each other, especially when your friends and loved ones are as polar opposite as they can get.
Uncle Eyes, Aunt Despair, can I have some water tonight?
Well, I suppose you've been good enough this year. Honey, why don't you share some of yours?
Here you go.
Oh, no, that's no way to treat a child.
Yeah, why don't you raise yours like we raise ours?
Well, I'm pretty sure they did raise me before I got abandoned in the Balto review.
No, that wasn't you.
Pretty sure it was.
No, we remember the children we abandoned. Do you? Well, I don't know about you, but I sure am excited for our Christmas meal.
Yeah, where is it? We've been waiting forever.
Now, son, don't make us abandon you like we did her.
But you just said...
The meal's taking a while because it's being specially delivered. Trust me, you only want an expert to deal with something so perfectly Christmassy.
Well, as long as it's edible, I'm good.
Honey.
Okay, it doesn't have to be edible.
That explains why your kid looks like she ate chimney.
It tasted like dying.
Well, at least we know where our kid is. What are you even talking about? Oh, now I get it.
Hey, boy, stop eating that glue and save some for me.
I feel colors.
Parents of the Year.
He won't even share. You say something over there, pubic wig?
Hey, why don't we watch a movie? The perfect Christmas interaction where we don't have to have any interaction.
Home Alone 2? You couldn't even put on Home Alone 1?
Ooh, I love this movie.
You do?
Me too!
I thought most people only liked the first one.
Exactly. They've seen it so many times it's practically background noise. But everyone has interesting thoughts about Home Alone 2. You see, when the original came out in 1990, it was huge. It played at number 1 for 12 weeks and turned a relatively unknown child actor, Macaulay Culkin, into a megastar. So, not surprisingly, 2 years later, a sequel came about, giving everybody the same comedy they grew to love. And I do mean the same comedy. Many people were angered at how much repeating there was, reusing the same jokes, scenarios, even teaching the same lessons that was learned in the original. Macaulay Culkin and director Chris Columbus even mock it in the first film's commentary.
John Hughes said he could write this on the weekend. I wonder how long it took him to write the second one. Just like a little bit of cut and paste and boom, you're done. Sequel, bam.
But much like Ghostbusters 2, people totally forgot they hated it. Because... come on! Well, I'm here to see if there's any validity to that come on, and look at a movie that seems to divide many, but at least can serve as a harmless distraction.
I'm only watching this for Sharknado star John Hurd.
Give it a chance. This is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life, and I don't say that often.
It's true.
Let's take a gander at Home Alone 2. We start off this roller coaster of variety with practically the same music against the same credits with the same exterior shot followed by the same interior shot. Okay, I know you're trying to establish a style, but when you don't even need to move the tripods from your last shoot, you might want to mix it up a bit. Hopefully everyone's character traits are repeated too.
Hey, easy on the fluids, pal.
Now you can be a skag with a slightly darker shade of skin.
You'd better not wreck my trip, you little sourpuss. Your dad's paying good money for it.
And you know what? If I had my own money, I'd go on my own vacation. Alone.
Yeah, okay, let's address what's arguably one of the biggest problems with the film. Macaulay Culkin's performance sucks. But it's not really his fault. He already played up the kid who has to act like an adult in the first film, and he immediately became the biggest star in the world. And that's not exaggerating, he was everywhere for a while. That kind of attention so quickly, so young, is gonna result in this kind of performance. The I don't care, I'm cool as shit now performance.
He didn't mean what he said. He was just sucking up to you. At first, you look kind of scary. But when I think about it, it's not so bad. Without any of you guys, and I'd had the most fun in my whole life.
It would happen to you, it would happen to me, it would happen to anyone. There's really no blame, it's just the situation. With that said, let's make fun of this like hell!
Honey, are you packed yet?
Yes. Yes.
I'm trying to see if I can literally phone in my performance.
Did you see what Grandma Penelope sent you for the trip? An inflatable clown to play with in the pool.
How exciting.
Can't tell. Are you excited? It's eerily similar to all the times you actually are excited.
Merry Christmas, Kevin. This is the greatest accident of my life. How exciting. Why do we have to go to Florida? There's no Christmas trees in Florida.
Kevin, what is it with you and Christmas trees?
Stay at the world-renowned Plaza Hotel.
Yeah, most of this opening dialogue you can just replace with, why can't set up for second or third act payoff? Bad joke to make it look like we're not setting up for the second or third act payoff. Honey, did you set up for second or third act payoff? Segue to other setup for second or third act payoff to make you forget about this setup for second or third act payoff. Speaking of which, Kevin has to grab his tie while his uncle sings in the shower and decides to record it. I do hope the dollar store microphone on that thing picks up the clearest audio both inside and outside the room.
Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly!
Ironically, Macaulay Culkin might be the only person from Hollywood not told that yet. He performs at a Christmas pageant with his brother Buzz, who proceeds to make fun of him. Those easily amused pageant goers. Look! The letter B! You are so ready to watch Home Alone 3? Kevin finds out what Buzz is doing and punches him. But because this is a Family Matters episode now, it has to go more over the top.
Did I do that?
Funny enough, this reveals that the only character in this sequel that's strangely evolved is Buzz. I know that sounds strange seeing how bullies are always the most underdeveloped characters, but he legitimately grows as a character. He's still a bully, but now he knows how to manipulate, his vocabulary shot up, and he seems wittier and funnier.
My prank was immature and ill-timed. Merry Christmas indeed. What a troubled young man.
The only downgrade is, when he is mean, his wordage is a lot more, Disney Channel.
Beat that, you little trout sniffer.
Ooh, trout sniffer. That's much more intimidating then.
If you were growing on my ass.
But hey, if you're not a fan of how the language in this one's more cleaned up than the last one, don't worry. There's plenty of more shit repeated from the first film.
If I had my own money, I'd go on my own vacation. Alone.
Well, you got your wish last year. Maybe you'll get it again this year.
It all depends on how lazy and rushed the writer is to get his paycheck. Oh, you're in luck.
We did it again!
You hear that wall we're randomly screaming at? Ugh! Speed up the film, play Williams' Nutcracker music again, rinse, repeat, water down. This time Kevin makes it at least as far as the airport with his family, but they get separated and Kevin gets on the wrong plane.
We have to close up here. They're ready to go.
He dropped his boarding pass.
This plane can't leave.
Board him. But make sure he locates his family before you leave him.
Well, 9/11 hasn't happened yet, so go ahead.
I have some theories on why 9/11 really happened.
Really?
Oh, look, another possibly debatable funny scene! Yeah, watch this over and see if you snicker at something a little odd.
Have you ever been to Florida?
C'est petit ça. Moi je viens de la dire, toi un peu. S'il y a un bon restaurant, seulement peut-être tes parents ils connaissent.
Now don't get me wrong, this doesn't seem that funny. Whatever, he looks at the camera because a guy in a different language won't shut up. But realistically, it's the most nonsensical, awkward moment. We know he's supposed to be looking at the audience, but in this situation, there is no audience. So imagine you're talking to me and I suddenly just went... That'd be super weird! And why is this guy still talking? He knows Kevin doesn't speak French. Does he think he made a friend? A friend who slowly shades you by looking at the airplane set with more space than any plane ever built? It's actually kind of hilarious, just not at all for the intended reasons.
Oh, I just have that feeling.
We have everybody. There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We're fine.
American Airlines, losing your luggage and your kids.
So Kevin, of course, ends up in New York and checks to see where he is.
What city is that over there?
That's New York, sir.
Yikes, I did it again.
Anyone else feel like Culkin's blank stares are trying to eat your soul?
You taste like innocence.
Let's do this shtick again.
My family's in Florida and I'm in New York. My family's in Florida?
Oh, come on. In the original, he had to really think about it, dealing with the fact that his family was gone, but then think about all the mean things they said to him. Here it just looks like he suddenly thought of his residual check.
My family's in Florida and I'm in New York. My family's in Florida?
Speaking of money, he uses all the cash in his dad's bag he accidentally took to see New York. He even checks out sites that are, uncomfortable, to say the least.
You see, it was all a conspiracy by the Satanists, which is why you can see the face in the smoke.
Hey, look, the good feathers! Yep, Kevin passes by a truck the escaped convict snuck into, and their sequel material is much to be scared of.
Smell that? Yeah. You know what that is?
Fish.
It's freedom.
No, it's fish.
Sorry, Matthew Broderick will master this routine 6 years later. There's no need in trying to top him.
We get ourselves a couple of phony passports. We hightail it to some foreign country.
Arizona?
Oh, I do hope there's more Secretary from Ghostbusters reboot material with him. Big enough coincidence they all happen to be in New York at the exact same time, but Kevin just misses them passing in the street, causing Marv to bump into someone.
Pardonnez-moi, mon chéri.
Serves you right. Come on, let's go.
Why did that anger him so much? This is a guy who breaks into God knows how many houses and almost commits child murder, yet speaking French to a woman was too far? Imagine how he'd react to this guy.
Vous êtes qui, ça? Moi, je viens de la France. Je suis...
What the fucking world is coming to? How do you like that?
Kevin makes his way to the famous Plaza Hotel, but not before coming across a disturbing character?
Sick.
Why? I mean, okay, this is obviously a retread of the old man gimmick from the first one, but he had a creepy backstory and could at times look very scary. This is a Susan Boyle and Mrs. Doubtfire hybrid. She doesn't look the least bit frightening. Is it because she has birds? Is that it? Birds aren't scary. You're literally feeding them in a later scene. If it were bats, it'd be scary. If it was insects, it'd be scary. If it was rats, anything but birds, there is literally a Mary Poppins song about this scenario. It is famously charming and not the least bit intimidating. Who knows? Maybe it was meant to be a horror film. He finally makes it to the hotel where he comes across a interesting cameo.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
There goes a man who looks like he'd lose by 3 million votes.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Grab him by the pussy.
Donald!
Auntie, isn't that a man we should be talking about?
Nope, there's no reason to talk about him at all. Like that guy got into politics.
Surely there is no harm in discussing politics over the holidays.
I completely agree. I'll start. Tim Curry, save the day!
Oh, I love him!
Me too!
For every 1-star movie he's in, he's the reason it got that 1 star.
Tim Curry. We can all agree on him. I'm not kidding. He is once again the best part of the movie. Even teaming in with Rob Schneider can't distract how awesome he is. He plays the concierge who suspects Kevin of suckering them with a stolen card and phony story. Mostly because their operators are idiots.
Like a hotel room, please, with an extra large bed, a TV, and one of those little refrigerators you have to open with a key.
To be fair, that slowed down voice would work a lot better if he just added 2 words.
Howdy do. This is Peter McAllister.
I'm drunk.
See? Suddenly it seems plausible.
Reservation for McAllister?
A reservation for yourself?
A kid going into a hotel, making a reservation? I don't think so.
It's that thing he said in the last movie. Did you get that? Did you get that?
Give me his credit card so I won't get into mischief. And ma'am, sometimes I do get into mischief. We all do.
It of course works, and Kevin enjoys all the perks of luxury.
Jingle bell, jingle bell.
By the way, show of hands, how many people when they hear this song instantly think of Kevin in swim trunks? Yeah, me too. Stupid movie. Get the film credit that even Rob Schneider gets a few decent laughs, mostly involving a misunderstanding about tipping.
I'm sorry, you wanted a tip.
I still have some tip left over.
No tip? Okay.
No. Wait.
That could make like 5 of my movies! Yep, we're even doing this bit again.
It's me, Johnny.
I could smell you getting off the elevator.
All anybody seems to watch in these movies are these films, The Grinch and Foreign, It's a Wonderful Life. I'd say branch out movie, but why start now?
I was singing at the Blue Monkey last night.
You was here. And you was smooching with my brother.
Actually, a part of me wishes I could just watch this film series as opposed to these Home Alones. Somebody crowdfund to get these movies made. We gotta see them in their entirety.
I believe you. But my Tommy gun don't.
You're the only duck in my pond.
Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
Whoa, family friendly my ass! He mows down Harley Quinn in a bullet-filled bloodbath. But don't worry, parents, he didn't swear while doing it. Oh, yeah, this feels earned.
Can I man.
I hope we have fun learning the exact same goddamn lesson we learned in the exact same goddamn way in the first one. You know, there's a difference between tear-jerking and tear-jerks. Tear-jerking is what the first film did. Tear-jerks are what the producers of this film are, thinking they could do the exact same thing again. Meanwhile, Curry, in a totally not creepy at all way, stalks a little kid's room.
Housekeeping.
As Dr. Strangelove. Come on, Curry, we know you can do better accents than that.
No! The diamonds are here!
Kevin sets up in seconds what would take a solid hour in reality, a ploy to fool the, And that's when every adult in the audience said, okay, we're not coming back. This is the course we're doing. It's shutting on my kids for a while, so just count your blessings.
Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly!
You all better get the irony that I'm frightened by a clown. The next morning, Curry tries to apologize for his actions.
Is my transportation here?
Out in front, sir. A limousine and a pizza.
Okay, can we just do a count of every average word made amazing by Tim Curry's weird pronunciations?
Pizza.
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 Oh, Tim, I love you and your Tim Charisma.
I do hope your father understands. I was simply checking the room.
If some guy looked at you in the shower, would you ever want to see him again?
You clearly haven't watched my other movies.
Bye.
Have a lovely day.
I will also give credit that this film has the greatest looking cheese pizza in movie history.
Mr. McAllister, here's your very own cheese pizza.
Wow, I don't even know where I got this. I just wanted a cheese pizza so bad I somehow made it happen.
Can you share?
Okay, you three will get the pizza, they'll get the box. Ha! Suckers! Kevin's credit card to find out it's stolen, but it's done in one of my favorite dissolves of all time. Admit it, that was a much more satisfying live-action Grinch than anything Ron Howard gave us. Meanwhile, Marv and Harry plan their next heist while ice skating. 'Cause they had the location.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Beat it! Get out of here! Hey, Marv! Get over here and interrupt my foreshadowing!
We need cash, and we need it now.
Hotels. Tourists carry lots of cash.
Kevin!
There's no guarantees. I got a better idea.
Well, that pointless line went nowhere. They decide to rob a toy store, Duncan's Toy Chest, which again, Kevin happens to be at. Yeah, enjoy the economies that could keep a place like that open. You got a few years left. He ends up talking to the owner of the store, the Schmucker's brand jelly guy. He's unaware at the moment, though, that he is actually the owner.
My, where did you get all that money?
In that store, I imagine everybody has that kind of money. He tells Kevin that a lot of the profits will go to a children's hospital on Christmas Eve, so Kevin makes a donation.
I'm not supposed to spend this money, but I have $20 from shoveling snow in a jar in our garage, so you can give this to Mr. Duncan. The hospital needs it more than I do.
Aw, well that's quite a sacrifice. After riding your limo from your luxury hotel on your folks' bank account, $20 I'm sure is a big deal. Why don't you give more? But Mr. Duncan falls for it and gives him a present of 2 turtle doves. One Kevin keeps and one he gives to a friend. Speaking of shticks, guess whose paths cross again?
Hiya, pal.
Okay, it's already a huge coincidence that not only are they in New York, but they're in roughly the same area. But how many times have they accidentally bumped into each other? 3 times in New York City! Hell, even when you plan to meet up, it's impossible half the time! These 3 have better homing powers than the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper! Ooh, you didn't put the hands on the cheeks. Restrained. He runs away from them and uses that valuable time not locating a cop, but instead putting beads on a sidewalk. Because he's supposed to be a smart kid, remember?
Yes!
Not! I don't know. 90s. We only said those 2 things. We were pretty dumb. Tim Curry puts on his best Cheshire cat preparing to eat Alice's face as he confronts Kevin's lies.
What's the matter?
Matter.
What? Store wouldn't take your stolen credit card. Let's see what the police have to say about this.
Yes! Police! There are 2 criminals chasing me! I could use the protection! Run away. I don't want to get grounded, little idiot. Well, we just had one unfunny pratfall. Let's shake things up with another unfunny pratfall. Show of emotion. This looks like a job for 1940s audio off of the clearest speakers on a 10-inch TV.
Hold it right there. You was here last night, too, wasn't you?
Yes, sir?
And you was smooching with my brother.
I love this one look he gives like, did I? No, that was another hotel.
You've been smooching with everybody. Snuffy, Al, Leo, little Mo with the gimpy leg.
Yeah, this scene is ungodly childish and weirdly forced, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't kind of laugh at it. Everything from one of them having one of the names he mentions to Schneider's hilarious shame faces to still to this day wondering what Bony Bob looks like.
Cheeks, Bony Bob.
Tell me you're not wondering that! And of course, who can forget?
Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
I love you.
How was that not on a Home Alone Valentine's Day card? You also gotta wonder what he whispered to himself before saying that line. How is this not the most embarrassing thing I've ever done?
Stay in your rooms! There's an insane guest with a gun!
Plaza. We thought this was good advertising. How?
But Kevin comes across Marv and Harry waiting for him outside, revealing their evil plan, of course.
At midnight tonight, we're hitting Duncan's toy chest.
Marv!
Off to Rio.
Marv, you want to shut up?
What's the difference? He's not going to talk to anybody.
It's only been 2 minutes and already I missed Tim Curry so much. He would have said anybody like anybody. But again, because New York is so tiny, they run across the same woman from before and Kevin makes it look like they pinched her ass.
Oh! He did it!
Did what?
This is why you're Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Kevin escapes and gives yet another great read from his emotionally gripping voice.
I want to go home. Mom, where are you?
Can we show back-to-back the cries for his mother from both films?
Mom! Mom, where are you?
You know what? Your next call back to the last film better be funny as hell or I'm walking!
Estúpidas, tontas, desconsideradas que pierdan los hijos a casa casi sin ropa.
You get lucky. The family's told that Kevin is in New York, but sadly he's left wandering the streets in one of the scarier parts of the city.
Watch it, kid!
Now there's a guy who has things figured out.
Looking for somebody to read you a bedtime story?
No, seriously, $50, I can do that. And he comes across the scariest one of all. Hi. I would say hi, most kids would. Your birds are really cute. He of course befriends her and she takes him to the top of a concert hall where, insert church scene from first one here.
I wasn't always like this, you know. I had a job. I had a home. But the man I loved fell out of love with me. That broke my heart.
And
whenever the chance to be loved came along again, I ran away from it.
Wait, that's it? You went through a breakup and you ended up here?
You see, sometimes you can trust a person, and then when things are down, they forget about you.
Maybe they're just too busy.
Wait. I want to make sure I understand this. In love and employed, breakup, homelessness. There's a missing gap there, I feel. Would you mind filling that in? Look, I admire you're trying to make homeless people more human, but Kevin found the person with the least homeless-ish backstory. There's mental illness, abuse, financial ruin, tough things to confront. And this silver-haired, hopeless romantic is the one representing all that? She's gonna be your icon for what most homeless people are like? What if Kevin went with the Watch It Kid guy? Would his problems be so quick and easy to understand?
I understand you must have gone through some heartbreak. I'm sure that you must have gone through some emotional turmoil. Maybe you fell in love with someone and she broke your heart. Maybe just something went wrong with it. You know what? I'm not feeling this.
So not only is this emotionally empty, but it also feels manipulative. Which again, I guess is in fitting with the theme of the movie.
Beat that, you little trout sniffer.
Oh, now we have some definite opinions on homeless people.
Oh, do you? Oh yes, all their problems can be solved super easily.
Super easy, huh?
I know. Let's talk about it in great detail.
We Christmas song, I forgot the words because I'm nervous. I'm singing this to distract you, so is it working?
I suppose so.
Go on. I'm going back to watching Home Alone 2 because it's something I want to do now, so that's what I'm doing. That was beautiful.
He has a real gift.
If you need somebody to trust, it can be me. I won't forget to remember you.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Weirdly cryptic. Kevin walks by the children's hospital and decides he wants to stop the robbery on his own.
You can mess with a lot of things, but you can't mess with kids on Christmas.
Kevin goes to his relative's abandoned house being renovated, puts together another pointless map. Seriously, minimum half hour to draw that in this time-sensitive scenario. And John Williams plays the exact same score from last time because he's doing Schindler's List, yo. He's got real movies to work on. This is so lame. I need my curry fix.
What kind of idiots do you have working here?
The finest in New York.
You're the drink of Gatorade in a marathon.
I'm going out to look for him.
What? Your son is lost in one of the biggest cities in the world. There are hundreds of parasites out there.
There are bird ladies out there, madam. Bird ladies!
Armed to the teeth. Do bundle up. It's awfully cold outside.
A moment of silence for the last scene of Tim Curry in this film. After Duncan's toy chest closes down, politely leaving the lights on and all the money in the register, our thieves look over their riches.
Merry Christmas, Harry.
Happy Hanukkah, Marv.
Oh, I won't have to do Christmas Story 2 after this.
We're up to our elbows in cash, and there's nobody that even knows about it.
Oh no, the punchline to what I just said! Thankfully, Kevin knew Harry would land on the left side of the window and Marv on the right as he launches the other into the air. Okay, somewhere we went from Three Stooges destruction to Avengers destruction. That's the crash Batman makes after falling from a building in heavy armor. This is a short Italian from a tumbling act. The damage he would have made could be buffered out. They chase him to the building where they think they have him cornered.
We got busted last time because we underestimated that little bundle of misery.
This ain't like the last time.
Clearly you have not been watching this movie.
Sonny!
Yes?
You throw down your camera and we won't hurt you. You'll never hear from us again.
Yeah, they need those pictures so people won't be looking for them. Which people already are. Hi? And in keeping with the earlier TV scene, we get yet another incredibly lazy, yet somehow weirdly funny moment.
Okay, kid. Give it to me.
Here we go. Let's do it. The first big home trap in Home Alone 2. A brick! That's our first big trap! A blatant, blunt, brutal brick! No turning wheels or strings or anything complicated, it's just a brick. But to make things even stranger, he does it again. And again. And again. It's almost like a troll joke. Home Alone 2, the genius trap setups. It's like the best thing these films are known for. And we just watch a guy get hit with a brick for like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm sorry, I know it's dumb, but it's ingeniously dumb. After that, it goes the course you'd pretty much suspect. They both try different ways to get in and are met with a bunch of traps. Some are okay, some are lame, they're hit and miss to say the least. But even God gets sick of Kevin's shit and gives him a bit of his own medicine.
You may have won the battle, little dude, but you lost the war.
The Home Alone sequel's in a nutshell. So, what, they're gonna make him go through the goofy traps like they said they would in the last one? Jesus Christ, he has a gun! Shit just got real!
I never made it to the 6th grade, kid. It doesn't look like
You're gonna eat it.
Okay, if this was a Scorsese film, he'd be on his 5th bullet.
Kevin, run!
Catch me, Lucky Charms, asshole! Sure enough, birds arrive to fly slightly to the right of them. And the police finally show up because you don't mess with kids on Christmas, but you don't call the cops until maybe 20 minutes Disney slapstick. Kevin clearly did the right thing.
Prisoners have already exchanged gifts.
We missed the presents? He made us hide out in the store so we could steal all the kiddies' charity money.
What an out-of-nowhere confession, even for a dumb person to make. Kevin's mom continues to search the city when she finally gets the idea of where he would be. Where no one else would be on Christmas Eve. Here's a fun game. Try to count how many times you actually believe what he's saying.
I want to take back every mean thing I ever said to my family. Even if they don't take back the things that they said. I don't care. I'll love all of them. If it's impossible, I can see all of them. Can I just see my mother? I'll never want another thing as long as I live.
Too much emotion. Too much emotion.
I just want my mother. Sometime, anytime. Even if it's just once and only for a couple minutes.
Whew! What a roller coaster. I sure hope he finds that blue fairy. What's that? He's not the emotionless robot from AI? Ooh, that sucked. The mother finds him, though, and takes him back to the hotel. The reunion is so underwhelming, they literally sleep through it. Yeah, next shot. They're all asleep. Remember how good everybody felt when they all reunited in the first one? Oh, I missed you, I guess.
Holy smokes, it's morning. It's Christmas morning, man. I don't think Santa Claus visits hotels.
He knows we're Jewish. It looks like Mr. Duncan was grateful to Kevin, though, for saving his money, so he got them all gifts, making this already rich as hell family even richer. Again, the stories of 90s economy. But Kevin realizes there's one gift he forgot to give.
As long as we each have a turtle dove, we'll be friends forever.
Oh, great. Like I don't have enough friggin' birds!
Thank you. I won't forget you. Trust me.
Don't make promises you can't keep. Aw, jeez, lady! And because we haven't first movied enough.
Kevin! You spent $967 on room service!
Oh, would you like to join us at our hotel? Oh, never mind. Merry Christmas! Enjoy the freezing cold!
I'm sorry, I still have some thoughts on that whole homeless thing.
As do I.
Well, maybe we have some things to say about that, too.
Yeah! That'll be the food! Stay here in total uncomfortable silence until I get back. We can do that. It's like our Fridays.
We do that at home.
Santa Claus! Santa Claus! Here's your Christmas tree.
Thank you.
Well, aren't you going to invite me in for dinner?
You don't want to be a part of this.
I believe you.
Flee this gingerbread house of angst.
Ho ho.
And that's what I think we should do with homeless people. Every single one of them.
Oh god, I'm too late.
Well, we disagree quite hard on that.
Okay, who's ready for some amazing food?
Yeah! Those homeless folk need to get a job!
What?
I mean, if we just keep giving everything to them, they're never gonna get back on their feet. We need stricter laws!
Really? Well, I completely disagree. These people have gotten the worst life has to offer.
Yeah, and we should give them as much support and care as possible.
Really?
Well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree.
Agreed. Why be adults if we can't accept our differences?
Aunt Despair, is this the thing you're always trying to teach me called acceptance?
Yes, it is, sweetheart. And those people across the table seem to be pretty good at it.
Thank you. Really?
I'm hungry.
Me too. What you got to eat there, critic?
Oh, well, since this wasn't quite the nuclear explosion I thought it would be, I guess we can go ahead and eat. This is my favorite meal to have this time of year. Oh, we're all so excited. Yeah, Christmas crunch.
Huh? You brought cereal as the main course?
Dude, it's not just cereal, it's Christmas crunch. It's the greatest Christmas cereal ever made.
Never been a fan of it myself.
What?
Yeah, I'll eat anything, but I stay far away from Christmas crunch.
Oh, yeah. You're joking.
I always found it to be a generic offshoot.
Yeah, you just slap Christmas on it and suddenly it's something completely different.
Let's all remain calm here.
Too much sugar for me.
Oh yeah, I mean just one bowl of that stuff will give you diabetes, am I right, kiddo?
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows. Nothing to get upset about here.
I think I'd rather eat the marks it came in, right, critic?
How dare you! How dare you blasphemy Christmas Crunch! Have you no heart? Have you no soul? Well, I'll tell you all the only place you can find that beauty, if not in Christmas Crunch, you can find it up your ass! Monsters! Monsters! All of you! You do not deserve to eat Christmas Crunch's prostate! A pox on you!
Look at me! I understand Christmas because I don't eat Christmas Crunch!
You Satans! You Christmas Satan! You are Judas is shit! That's what you betrayers are! Judas is shit! I hope you rot for all eternity, especially the children! Shame!
Well, Merry Christmas.
So it is. Merry Christmas! I guess I've been talking for an entire 24 hours.
26. But who's counting?
Oh my god, I am so sorry. I totally exploded and ruined everybody's evening. I'll go get your coats.
No, hold on. There's no need for that.
You had an outburst. It happens.
You apologized and saw the error of your ways. We're okay.
Really?
Yeah, we know that deep down you're a good kid, just nuts.
Clearly.
No doubt.
Buggers.
Well, thank you. That really means a lot to me. You guys would forgive me after all that. You know, you guys really are a lot like Home Alone 2.
How?
I don't believe this.
How are we in any way like Home Alone 2?
Not everything ties into a movie you're reviewing.
Well, this one does! It is annoying, predictable, and not always giving its all, but it surprises you sometimes. There's still moments that make you glad you saw it, and though they're not there all the time, those moments do go a long way. It pisses me off to no end in many respects, yet I also find myself coming back to it every year. Like a strange comfort food that doesn't taste good, but it's still cozy and familiar.
Oh, you mean like Christmas Crunch?
I do not, that is delicious!
Okay.
The film has too many flaws to count, but that's also part of what makes it kind of fun. Just how phoned in parts of it are mixed in with new elements that are legitimately good. I know it's a weird way to explain it, but the feelings many people have for it are weird too, including my own. It's not always good, but it's harmless and familiar, mixed with just enough enjoyable moments to make it worth it in the end. I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and people really are kind of like movies. Some you can be around, some you can't, but they're always worth a shot. Happy holidays, and enjoy your Christmas feast. On second thought, we have been up for 24 hours. What do you say we take a nap?
Sounds good.
Shut that door!
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Well, it's after Christmas, but it's still December. Got any expired Christmas leftovers? It's no other time I'm reviewing it. From the director of Teen Wolf, and Beethoven Second. That's more like it. Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House, was the first Home Alone film to be released straight to television and DVD. They took away all the actors in the last movie, so I guess it figures to take away the actual theaters next. A plan Warner Brothers would soon cling to. I really had no interest in looking this over, but being in that emotional purgatory between Christmas and New Year's, I guess I should give the people what they, well, not want, because nobody wanted this, but let's say cautiously asked about. Let's wrap up this year with what I wish was the end of this series. By kinda demand, this is Home Alone 4. Always a good sign when that's the first name you see. Unless there's an and or a with on top, that does not bode well. But don't worry, it gets better. You know how in the last movie they couldn't get any of the cast back, so they just wrote new characters? Well, say hello to Kevin McAllister, everybody! Oh yeah, and that's Buzz and Mom and Dad. And Viv's transition floats smoother than this.
Alright, Merry Christmas!
Last Christmas.
Yeah.
A shame the rest of the family died in the Bermuda Triangle. We should have made the film about that.
We're gonna do all the same things we've always done. Sing Christmas carols, put cookies and milk out for Santa.
God, that's just how I remember Catherine O'Hara's character.
I'm sorry.
It's too late.
I'm sick of being everyone's favorite joke around here.
Yeah, it's hard to be the youngest.
Everyone in this family hates me.
Then maybe you should ask Santa for a new family.
What the hell's going on? I mean, what the hell is going on?
Oh, and here's a fun addition. The mom and dad are divorced.
Oh, I know you miss your dad. When people are married for a long time, they get into kind of a rut.
Christ, I would believe any one of these family members would separate except these two. They were literally the only ones who seemed to like each other. It's like saying Gomez and Morticia split because they were too gloomy. There's so many reasons that doesn't work.
Hey, the guy!
Dad does drop by, though, to talk to Kate privately.
Well, you know, Natalie and I are living together, and I'm gonna marry her.
Jesus, Kevin doesn't even look that much older. How much time has passed for all this to happen? Oh, was he flirting with a flight attendant when they forgot Kevin the first time?
You want the kids for Christmas?
Just a couple of days.
He wants to take the kids over Christmas to know their new stepmother better, because God knows they don't have enough emotional issues in these movies. And they randomly reveal this.
There's a royal family coming to visit. You might have a chance to play with the crown prince.
Where did that come from? It's like saying in passing, oh, by the way, Buzz is an alien. You don't just drop that in. Speaking of which, the kids turn him down, leaving Buzz in charge of babysitting, forcing Kevin to do all his chores.
I hate Buzz. I wish I didn't have a brother or a sister.
Well, you don't mean that.
I wish I was an only child.
Am I gonna have to apologize for calling Home Alone 2 unoriginal? There's copy and pasting, and then there's just cloning. How many times can somebody do something and not learn any lessons? David Madden, Lisa Denberg, and Mitch Engel. While his father's busy being in a James Bond movie, French Stewart playing Marv. Yep, Daniel Stern's part. Scopes out the place with his wife Vera, played by Missy Pyle.
You sure we can pull it off? I mean, without Harry making the plans?
Look where Harry's plans kept landing me, huh? In jail.
Aw, looks like the McAllisters weren't the only ones to go through a divorce. They plan to kidnap the prince when the royals arrive, and at the same time, Kevin runs away from home to stay with his dad. Yes, I'll do another Emmerich movie. Oh. This is Prescott, played by Eric Avari, who's head of security and introduces Kevin to his future stepmom.
This is a smart house, Kevin. It does whatever you tell it to. Fire out.
Movie good. I had a feeling. I will give credit. If I was a kid, I would totally be in love with this room.
Think you'll be comfortable here?
Thanks, Natalie. This is gonna be the best Christmas ever.
All my other mom gives me is unconditional love. You have PlayStation Pie! Speaking of which, Kate finds out Kevin left for his father's house and is quickly okay with it because the movie needs to happen.
Breakfast time. Anything special you'd like?
Anything?
Sorry, we're in the wrong Culkin sequel. This is clearly Richie Rich Tax Audit. The dad and stepmom have to head out, leaving Kevin alone with Prescott and the maid named Molly.
Can you make a milkshake? Do you have chocolate? Do you think we'll have a white Christmas? What's this thing?
It's called a dumbwaiter.
Why is it called a waiter?
Carries food.
Why is it called dumb?
This is less like Kevin and more like that kid that was confused for Kevin, which I think was the alternate title of this movie.
Hey, Molly, what you doing?
Cleaning the house.
Gross.
Oh, no. Not in this house.
Actually, I think he was talking about that sculpture. Nobody batted an eye when they put that on set? Maybe it's symbolic of the franchise saying, yes, you may do me right up the ass. Hey, didn't Kevin lip sync in one of those movies? I don't care, it pads out a few minutes. I feel nice. Can the rest of the movie be watching whatever's in the lower right? I think it's Rob Zombie's version of Little House on the Prairie.
Coast is clear. Let's go.
Meanwhile, Marv and Vera get ready to sneak in to get the layout of the house before kidnapping the prince the following day.
What do you think, Vera? We're just gonna go in there tomorrow and start grabbing kids? Ooh, everybody get in the van.
Did the writing always sound this ooey, or is it just because French Stewart is saying it? Kevin spots them and, like the audience, can't believe what an unbelievable coincidence this all is.
No, it can't be. It is! It's Marv!
And Harry, presumably with a sex change, and she's making me feel things!
Alarm? Oh.
Prescott's doing a bang-up job looking after this place.
Door open.
Go close.
I love this thing.
Not.
Had the door been anywhere near me, that's how I would have reacted. Kevin sets the shower to fire hose, because of course that's a setting, filling up the bathroom, causing it to burst open. And so help me God, I did kind of giggle at this.
You!
Hello, Marv.
Is that the prince?
No, that's Kevin. Kevin, Vera, Vera, Kevin.
We have kind of a Bart Simpson, SciShow Bob kind of thing. We've grown a lot over the years. With the house literally flooded with reasons not to come back, he says he'll come back. I'll be back! And the folks return home. They, of course, don't believe Kevin because Prescott was on the most convenient of bathroom breaks. Just that serendipitous kind of day. And somehow get him to apologize for protecting the house.
Well, do you have something to say?
I'm sorry for the damage of your house.
I do have more to add to that apology, but you'll have to follow this detail map to find it.
Kevin sneaks into the control room and finds the security tapes have been tampered with. And I swear to God I didn't edit anything here. This is how the scene is presented.
What are you doing here? Tell me.
Well, before being sucked into a Donnie Darko time warp, I did a Shrek scream that even for Home Alone 4 was pretty awkward.
Nothing. I swear.
Kevin, of course, suspects that Prescott is in cahoots with Marv and not the incredibly kind person who's like an angel named Twisty McShocksurprise.
You do have an overactive imagination. My own son was the same as you at your age. A real handful.
Yes, I have the greatest memories of my boys. To figure out what to do with criminals saying they're going to return to the house and one definitely living there with him. Oh, I mean, he hates how boring Christmas is.
No friends, no fun, no snow. This is definitely going to be the worst Christmas ever.
You texted and drove writing this, didn't you? But his dad knows how to fix the problem. Trimming the tree. You know, for a smart house, there sure are a lot of dumbasses living inside.
Evangelista's in town. Margaret's just throwing together a little impromptu supper, but we shouldn't go, should we?
The stepmom gets called out by friends, allowing Kevin and Dad to talk about fun things like divorce.
Adult relationships are just complicated.
I know all about the inner child, Dad. But who wants to be in a nice car when you're all alone?
You should think about leaving this woman while we take advantage of her incredibly expensive hospitality. Everybody in this is a monster. They find out the next morning the tree's been changed by the stepmom to get ready for the party, so the father lets him open one gift early as an apology.
A listening device, is that cool?
Yeah!
Christ, why don't you just give him home security the toy? These films are so subtle. It looks like the rest of the family drops by to give Kevin his special teddy bear. Yeah, a kid with a rifle who sets traps would totally still have one of those.
Teddy is this transitional object.
Transitional object. Something very, very special. Child carries with him everywhere.
That's why he left it at home. Did you even read your damn script?
Kevin thinks, oh, possibly Teddy might want a little fresh air, right?
So he rolls down the window and out flies Teddy.
He was ballistic.
You know, forcing this woman to feel like a third wheel is making me fall in love with you again.
That's what we were missing, our shared love of spreading misery. Later that night, they go to pick up the Royals as the staff set up for the party. Marv and Vera disguise themselves to sneak in.
It's the burglars! Mr. Prescott!
In hindsight, I had days to prepare for this, but calling the police before a crime is not my strong point.
He escapes into the suddenly empty kitchen and traps Prescott in the cold room. It looks like the Royals' flight is canceled due to snow, so the stepmom decides to announce their engagement to still make it a memorable party.
I know we were gonna wait till after your divorce was final, but it'll make tonight so special.
Well, if it makes you happy.
Yes!
Happy wife with millions of dollars, happy life with millions of dollars. Marv and Vera get ready to nab the prince in a bag, but decide to test it out first so stuff can happen to them.
Let me down easy.
I always do, baby.
She's bleeding internally. Even Wile E. Coyote will be looking at this saying that's not how gravity works. The parents return and Kevin is a friggin' ballet ninja now, hitting the crooks with a pan and dumping food on them. God, the Forrest Gump feather wouldn't fly around as much as these two. Oh look, they thought Prescott was an ice sculpture. I know the line between slapstick and horror is very thin, but God, I wish I was in the parallel universe where this was a horror film. Kevin! Think we dipped into that dimension for a second? Once again, nobody believes Kevin, and his father thinks he's trying to sabotage his relationship.
You're out to destroy my relationship with Natalie. What? I want you to go to your room and think about what you've done.
Every test screening card said the same thing. I guess somehow every movie got It's a Wonderful Life in there. Kate clearly crying because it's not in Spanish. And Kevin calls so he can watch it with her. Every 8-year-old loves It's a Wonderful Life.
So how's your party? Are you having a good time?
Yeah, it's alright.
Trying to stop an abduction is pretty blasé by this point.
Later that night, the stepmom comes in to give some kind, loving words.
If you ever do anything like that again, you'll be out of this house so fast your head will spin.
For Norma Bates.
So your father's getting divorced. Boo-hoo. You better not cross me.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Oh, that's not a lullaby. I'm saying don't fuck with me. For once in this film, Kevin actually prepares for the crook's return, and big shock sets traps everywhere. Oh boy, it's gonna be a crazy night. Cut to the next morning. Get some pages mixed up there? Where it looks like the dad and stepmom are off to pick up the royals again.
But it's Christmas.
You know how sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do? This is one of those times.
A quote every actor had when doing this movie. The crooks, of course, try to sneak in again, so Kevin tries to dispose of Prescott first. At least now he knows to watch his back whenever Kevin's around a door. Worst security ever!
Boy, am I glad to see you. The kidnappers are coming.
He bumps into Molly, who, of course, reveals she's the accomplice.
You're the inside man?
I'm afraid so.
Hey, Mom.
Biggest surprise since Look Out, I'm Going to Surprise You. Surprise, I surprised you. She locks him in the cellar as well, and he and Prescott try to figure out how to escape. Oh, what inventive Home Alone way will they get out of it?
A cell phone.
Well, there goes that question.
Perfect, man.
Sure.
You're the adult in this situation. He calls 911, or Buzz, just as helpful, who just keeps hanging up on him. Okay, so now they call 911.
Can I try calling your mom again?
Can somebody people in this movie? It doesn't matter because the battery dies. Again, phenomenal head of security. But Prescott does finally get an idea to use the dumbwaiter.
If you hate this job, why don't you quit?
Jobs aren't that easy to come by.
You shouldn't stay someplace you hate, just because you're scared. Life's too short.
That's our equivalent of the old man scene, crying yet? Kevin uses it to get out and naturally outwits the crooks. It took longer than I thought to replace his audio with a Tickle Me Elmo. Molly gets trapped in the elevator. Who the shit chases someone in an elevator? While the other two continue to hunt him down. Hey honey, let's reenact what you slapped me for suggesting on our wedding night.
Spin faster, Sesame.
Yeah, the wife's not good.
Faster, Sesame.
This clearly has a practical use, especially when alcohol is involved. They're violently launched into a very gentle jump onto a chandelier, and this might be the only fall to be legitimately funny. Though it would have been funnier if someone was ended from that. See if you understand this music choice. Their careers are somehow undead.
Merry Christmas to all.
Yes, wish Merry Christmas after Halloween music. I'll at least give credit to how bludgeoningly fast this wraps up.
To all a good night.
Good night.
Something about seeing an old woman's skull shattered by a blunt object, I have to admit, is a little funny. Everyone arrives home, so now thwarting evil is a family affair. Is everybody's bones made out of trampolines? The police arrest them just as the royals arrive.
I'm her boss. Well, looks like you're gonna have to find a new maid.
Are you having a stroke? The father splits up and decides to go back with his wife, and as a means to give thanks, the royals decide to spend Christmas with the McAllisters.
You're going to be with them?
That'll show that stuck-up rich snob. Now back to our slightly less rich, but still very, very rich home for Christmas. Kevin even activates the snow machine, which we're only now seeing as a thing.
I knew this was gonna be the best Christmas ever.
Buzz, Megan, wanna give me a hug? Okay, I'll hug Kevin again. Who are you? I immediately wanna leave my wife for you. Christmas! And that was Home Alone 4. How the fuck do you think it was? I guess it's good to see at least one of these straight-to-TV versions, if only just to see how bad they get. I think most people watching know not to raise their expectations too high, but that's also why it's puzzling that they put the McAllisters back as the leads. These clearly aren't the same characters in personality or appearance, so it's mind-boggling why they didn't just write new characters like in 3. I guess it doesn't matter, you know it's gonna be bad either way. Can you really get that angry at it? I guess not, but you can't really get many laughs out of it either. I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember it, so you don't have to. I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. I'll be honest, the only reason I wanted to review this movie is to give this 90s cartoon justice.
Tonight I'll be reviewing Home Alone 5.
We left Kevin home alone, and he's only 23!
Not only were they right, but they were right twice! Home Alone, The Holiday Heist, was a TV movie released in 2012 and was the 5th film in the Home Alone franchise. Hard to believe that when this joke was made, they thought 5 was a comedically high number, now realizing they were still off by 1. I guess it's becoming a Christmas tradition to review all these films, which, at the rate they keep making them, I should be done by the time they stop making Star Wars movies. Like always though, I have to ask the foolish question, is there anything of value in this movie? Was this a secret masterpiece that snuck under the radar, and is it even worth finishing that question? You already know the answer is. Granted, the director does have a few good movies under his belt, but some not so good ones too. So I'm not holding out much hope. Let's jump into one of the many regrets we continue to self-inflict on ourselves. This is Home Alone, the one before the other one you really hate. Gotta love how the atmospheric credits of the early films are replaced with, "Yep, you accidentally put this on, can't turn back now. Your kid's ADD has latched onto it."
Oh, you look at that snow. Never got that in California.
I bet they have better keying technology, though. This is the Baxter family, who's moving to a new house, but their youngest son, Finn, is intimidated by their new home.
It's super creepy. Oh, come on, buddy, don't be ridiculous. Not creepy, it's great.
Movie, I will pay you my life savings if the kids trying to get the people out of the house are the kids from the others. Fuck off, that's technically not a spoiler.
It's so homey once we get all their stuff moved in, but look at all the space.
I see so many possibilities for traps here. The realtor is there as well and welcomes them to the home.
Hello, Baxters! Oh, and you must be the wee ones.
I thought we lost that name when Mom remarried.
They're not very good with real people. They're better with space robots and cell phones.
I look forward to that observation not being overused in movies with parents.
Welcome, Mr. Hughes.
We're then introduced to a powerful man named Sinclair, played by the master of paycheck performances, Malcolm McDowell. Every time I see him, I want to give him that Ben Affleck speech from Good Will Hunting. One of these days, I don't want to see you here anymore. Who, of course, is planning a break-in to the Baxter's house. Which MacGuffin do you think it'll be this time? Rare diamond, spy technology, or priceless work of art?
He was the previous owner of a priceless work of art.
Wile E. Coyote changes his formula more than this franchise. Give the sister Alexis credit. I truly believe she doesn't want to be in this movie.
You wanna come on downstairs and help your mom and me unpack?
I'd rather die.
Perfect.
Favorite character? The father thinks Finn is spending too much time playing games, so he has him help unpack. And tell me if you've heard this one. The boy is afraid of the basement.
Dad like is watching you.
I'd just be happy somebody's watching this. He goes across the street to try and make a friend with one of the neighbor kids. Her thing is snow.
Snowman, make snowballs, go snow sledding, design snow forts, make snow angels.
You wanna know what my favorite Game of Thrones line is? You snow not pass.
She says the place is haunted by a gangster and Finn should fear for his life.
I'd like to hang out with you, but I'm too young to die.
I still have so much snow to snow. I was written in a minute.
He gets so freaked out that, you guessed it, he sets traps in his room.
We can move back to California!
You're an idiot. Alexis, don't call your brother an idiot.
He is a dumbass. Idiots are lazier. The burglars discover the house is occupied and decide to wait for the perfect time.
We'll strike.
I have this foolproof plan where I say someone's injured on the side of the road, and I really shouldn't continue that if I want this video to be monetized.
Away the old year passes.
The family goes shopping for a Christmas tree while the burglars try to break in.
Chocolate-covered coconut macaroons were Steve's favorite.
Oh, did I mention one of the burglars' quirks is she cries all the time because she misses the criminal who broke up with her?
We were supposed to have a house together.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Can you please just return my calls?
It hurts even more when you realize he technically broke up with her twice. They crack the safe, but discover there's nothing inside. The family returns and they scramble to get out, but not before McDowell sees they'll be out of town for a Christmas party. Finn notices, though, several factors that prove something was moving around the house.
Okay, there's nothing there. I'm just gonna check it out.
Dad, wait!
Please, kids, I just happen to look exactly like Sean Hannity. Why would anyone want to hurt me? Though he finds nothing, he too gets freaked out that there might be something inside the house. Let's look on the GPS to see where that goes. Yep, just what I thought. The day of the big party arrives, but the kids don't want to go, so they leave them behind.
No games, no TV, no music, no phone.
Oh, that's how they're getting around calling the cops. What about emergencies?
Emergencies.
Thank you, honey.
Okay, I give credit. They acknowledge this could have been written stupider. While the burglars are getting ready to break in, they find the person in the painting they're looking for is actually Sinclair's great-grandmother.
She's seen sitting with her children. Her family. My family. She belongs to me.
So did Home Sweet Home Alone look at this setup and say, hey, feeling bad for the crooks makes no sense here. We can really have it make no sense in the next one.
I'm eating junk food! I don't care!
So really this film could be called Kinda Home Alone, as the sister is still there and all of Finn's acting out seems random and out of nowhere. It's a big thing when you're a little kid and no one's around. This is like being home with your sibling. It's not like that at all. It's exactly being home with your sibling. Why is this a big deal?
I broke glass! I can't hear you!
I will give him a point for this legit laugh, though. You sold me on that one. There's another surprise laugh at the party where Ed Asner plays a very awkward and possibly insane boss who orders Finn's father to get him a drink.
My mistake. He's the spitting image of Albert, my butler, now deceased.
I'll give Home Alone 5 this. It is randomly surreal.
And you have kids too? 7 of them.
2.
Oh, it's probably for the best. All those clutching little hands.
On the one hand, it is kind of cool that comedy legend Ed Asner is getting the biggest laughs, but on the other hand, it should never be Ed Asner that's getting the biggest laughs. While Finn does his impression of Jim Carrey's Riddler. He loses a controller battery downstairs and asks his sister to go get it. She discovers the safe and a whole lot more, a secret room within the vault. Aw, they have a family portrait of the Voldemorts.
She's watching you.
I'd say this looks familiar, but what if the Home Alone movies ever repeated anything?
Touch my hooch and regret it.
Alexis accidentally locks herself in as it almost feels like a horror movie for a minute.
Finn, can you hear me?
Which it could be if they included a certain cameo. Come on, Google. I just gave you your commercial next year. Parents are snowed in at the party, and Finn is under the impression his sister went to the mall but is really trapped downstairs. He talks to another player who beats him all the time at his favorite video game, and we're, I guess, given an emotional moment.
I don't really do the whole Christmas thing since I don't live with my folks anymore.
If you're alone, it's not really Christmas.
I never thought about it like that before.
This is like Kevin talking to Marley if the first time he ever saw him was in the church. Kevin's look here would take on a whole new meaning. He'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? I actually kind of want to see that movie.
Get me out of here!
Alexis?
Finn finally puts together that Alexis is downstairs and tries to figure out a way to bust her out.
Want to make snowballs with me? I can't right now. My sister is trapped in the basement, and I have to buy supplies to break her out. Oh, cool.
I also have to tell Wardrobe to lay off the in-jokes. This doesn't invite any questions.
What can I get for $1.68?
You get a Fuller House joke like the one you just told. He bumps into Sinclair and discovers they're trying to break into his home.
Help me finish my snow fort? I can't right now. A team of art thieves are planning an assault on my new house, and I'm the only one who can defend it. Oh, cool.
Why do I feel like this newspaper heading is in the near future? He lets Alexis know about the burglars, but she doesn't believe him. Time to call the proper authorities. Sam from the Ghost Beach episode of Goosebumps. It's the only entry I recognize from his IMDb. He misinterprets Finn's story for a video game, and he instead gives him advice he would give in a video game.
Sounds like a tower defense game?
Like level 17 on Robo Infantry 3.
Or those sequels actors leave off their resumes.
I can do that.
Yeah, I know you can, dude. You're like the smartest kid I know.
Aside from, calling the cops with your fucking cell phone, I actually would have bought the mother taking it more by this point. He sets up the traps and thankfully mastered cloning to speed up the process.
The only thing to be afraid of in this house is me.
I believe you. With dangerous criminals sneaking in, that sister you completely forgot about is totally dead. I like they at least noticed the slippery walkway and tried to find another way in. Of course, setting off a different trap.
The house has a mind of its own. Unlike someone I know.
They actually put one of the writers in front of him to make that line sound the most convincing. Tell me if this makes any sense to you. Like maybe 3 are hitting him. It's like they're going out of their way to avoid his body. He's not even reacting the few times he's getting hit. Sinclair is like, even by cartoon logic, I don't follow that. Alexis gets so bored she starts reading War and Peace. Put that on the box art. As here's a surprise, another trap goes off.
Something, Steve. Did we give up on that joke? I can't remember.
Finn lets his friend know what's going on, and he finally realizes it's not a game.
I've got to call the cops or your parents or like Jack Bauer or something.
Or the Lorax or Life of Pi or 2012 thing. He doesn't tell him where he lives though because, get this, stranger danger.
Stranger danger? There are people trying to invade your home.
Gotta go.
Is it too late to follow the B story with the Snowball Girl? Alexis as well finally puts together this is real and tells him to call the cops. But the phone is dead. Aw man, nobody keeps a charger at their home.
If they get to you, we go with plan B. Plan B? What are you talking about, plan B?
Murder-suicide. That sounded better in my brain. Don't cut your head off yet.
Hello?
The parents finally manage to make their way back just as the best friend gives him a call.
I'm worried something bad is gonna happen to him.
Are you threatening my son?
And your daughter is locked in the basement.
You kidnapped my kids!
What?
Again, I'll spotlight the few chuckles. I guess I missed the part where her hair turned like that. I'll just assume it wasn't funny. This calls for cookies.
When I get scared, I need sweets. I'm an emotional
Because
eater.
yeah, another trap can happen that way.
Oh.
This is feeling less like ripping off the ending of Home Alone and more like the middle of Three Ninjas. Oh, did I mention one of the subplots is Finn trying to make the burglars think the place is haunted? And they buy it.
Who dares enter my domain and not believe?
I am real.
This might be really stupid.
Believe in me!
Okay, Nickelodeon's interpretation of the lodge is ambitious but troubled. The parents trace back the number the best friend called from and, I guess, swat him. Which maybe he deserves, seeing how he knows 2 kids are in trouble, yet he just goes back to gaming.
I just play video games.
God! I think that's the most far-fetched thing in the movie. We all know how that would really go down. God! They finally figure out it was a kid literally pulling the string, so they lock him in the van and try to get back into the vault. But don't worry, snowballs.
Oh! No, let me explain! Wait, stop it! Oh!
It's like with every one of these I see, I want to apologize more to Home Alone 2. Alexis threatens destroying the painting, leading to one of the more grisly lines of the movie.
A painting ripped in half can be repaired. The same cannot be said for little girls.
Ooh, more 70s Malcolm McDowell, please. Finn gets free and closes the door just as Alexis gets out. The 2 crooks are trapped in the third one.
What's going on? Wait, kid, help me, I can't move.
Do you realize the horror movie version of this is unintentionally funnier than the intentionally funny version of this? It is accompanied, though, by 2 surprisingly good jokes. One is while the crooks don't slip on the ice, the SWAT team does, and it's followed by...
Guys, come on, not again.
Golf clap, that was good. The parents return home, the day is saved, and they discover the painting is worth millions.
Mook, Scandinavian guy, he painted The Scream.
What?
The Scream, you know this?
Oh, Dad. Ah!
We had a good joke with the SWAT team, and then you know, Home Alone 5'd it.
Is there a reward? There's a reward, right?
4 free member passes to the museum.
That's no reward.
Well, it would have been more if he didn't make that joke. They say they did get $30,000 though for capturing the thieves. Thank God, because it really looked like this family was tight on money. In an attempt to trick you into thinking this was about something, they tell Simon they're buying him a plane ticket to see his family. But even Even the movie barely cares as it tries to rush it by as quickly as possible.
That's unbelievable.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Wanna play?
Yeah.
Don't worry, Mom and Dad. We're sure you're done having sex while you put this on for your kids. We'll wrap up now. It actually picks a very random point to stop. They take the burglars' mugshots, and that's it. No witty line or anything. They just take their mugshots. You wasted a police station set on that? You paid these actors an extra day just for that couple of seconds no one will remember? And there's actually one more of these after this goddamn stinker? Yep, Home Alone 5's pretty bad. But is anyone really shocked by this? It set a very low expectation and met it pretty adequately. It almost feels silly to get angry at it, and yeah, I guess it kind of is. It's not a sin against nature. I mean, Lord knows I've seen so many worse family films. It's just forgettable and tired. I'll give credit, there were a few chuckles in it, which isn't much, but it's certainly more than I was expecting. It's just a lame, run-of-the-mill family TV movie. Probably not worth waving your fist in the air, but definitely not worth wasting your time watching it either. It doesn't work in the exact way you would think it doesn't work. No reason to check it out to see any surprises. I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember it so you don't have to. Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember it so you don't have to. Well, December 25th has come and gone, Christmas is an afterthought. Let's return to a franchise that sees itself as exactly the same thing. Home Sweet Home Alone is the 6th Home Alone movie. It was released in 2021 on Disney Plus and is said by many to be the worst of the bunch. I can't say that in a world where there's a sequel where a mouse looks through a telescope, sees a cat on TV, and squeaks, eek, and runs back. Yeah, I can't do that. I've seen them all. This is not the worst one. I will say, though, it is maybe the worst creative choice out of all of them. We'll get to that when we get to that, but in comparison to many of the other sequels, this was getting more laughs than I expected. It actually has writers and a director from very successful comedic properties. So I was impressed there were some decent jokes in this. But the key word is some. This is still a pretty bad flick. So what makes it so bad? Oh, you know what makes it so bad. It's the 6th Home Alone movie, Jesus! But okay, what makes it uniquely bad compared to the other sequels? Well, let's take a closer look. Let's just end it. This is Home Sweet Home Alone. It starts with a couple trying to sell their house named Pam and Jeff McKinsey, played by Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney. And if you're thinking, isn't that a lot of funny people on screen for a Home Alone sequel? You're right. This movie has a surprisingly funny cast. On top of Kemper and Delaney, you got Kenan Thompson, Pete Holmes, Chris Parnell, Aisling B., Andy Daly. Even Esher Pavitsky just has a walk-on part as one of the people looking at the house. I guess she has an attraction to projects with Alone in the title that nobody seems to watch. And yes, all of them are trying to make this DOA movie work, and like I said before, they can get some laughs.
If those are load-bearing walls, the whole place could collapse.
It's not a Jenga tower, Jeff.
It's not a Jenga tower, Jeff.
Also give some credit to Archie Yates, who's playing our lead, Max. He's got some comedic background also, and works well reacting off of others.
Maxwell Johann Mercer.
Carol Ellen Mercer.
No McDonald's for you on the way home.
You can't promise a kid McDonald's and not deliver.
This won't be so bad. Maybe this will be the Home Alone sequel that has more than one Tim Curry. Max uses the bathroom at the open house, and when he doesn't get along with Jeff, he apparently steals one of his antique dolls, the Jake Tucker model with nightmare filling. And we find the McKinseys want to keep the fact that they're selling the house secret from their kids.
Hey, I thought you were gonna call after the movie was over.
Oh no, we just took an Uber.
It was Home Alone 3, so we left early. So while the writing isn't always bad and the actors' deliveries are good, for some reason this movie thinks it's shown in front of a live audience and leaves way too much dead air. If you watch the scene with a laugh track, it works okay, I guess.
You good? I'm doing some thinking, you know? This is a very good spot.
when you take away that laugh track, the void of emptiness just eats you inside out.
This is a very good spot for thinking.
Sorry, I had to put that scene out of its misery. As you probably guessed, tons of family members are cramped into one house, and Max is often tossed aside because of it.
I'm sick of this bullshit! We don't have to tell Santa about that, right, Gooby?
Let's do a count of things that are probably going to be traps in the third act. I'm already sick of counting them. Even when this movie does their tropes fine, I'm so sick of seeing them. He goes into the car to watch some, well, non-Disney material. Maybe this was part of the Warner Snow White trade with Gremlins. And hey, I recognize that pizza. I always give him a good tip when I heard the delivery boy made life hell for the nerd.
I always thought we'd get old and weird in this house.
The Mackenzies talk about how unfortunate it is that they have to sell their house because of their financial troubles. Things don't get better when Jeff's brother drops by unannounced and brings more really drawn-out jokes with him.
Here she is. Oh, careful.
Here's a coupon for your time back. Use it well. While searching the internet, Jeff finds his terrifying MacGuffin is worth a fortune, but of course he can't find it. He puts together Max stole it, who is, you guessed it, still asleep in the garage while the family goes on vacation without him. Hey, what's the difference between a scene of adults intentionally sounding lame and a scene of adults unintentionally sounding lame?
Best in the state. They are totally lit.
Hey, Bethany, is this a good time for a selfie in front of an Uber? Hashtag ill-judged.
Absolutely nothing, they're both unfunny. Jeff tells Pam about the doll being worth a fortune while performing bells at an old folks' home. Okay, that's an original spot for exposition.
Still against the law, Jeff.
Like a light bulb. Oh my gosh, this is so terrible.
Also, like the best Home Alone moments, the funniest scenes are when they're just plain mean.
I don't want my husband spending Christmas in jail.
Yippee!
Hey!
Wow, sounds like garbage.
Herman, no, none of that.
Well, it does.
It's okay, Martha.
Don't blame her. That's you.
Sorry.
Shame on you.
Just being mean to be mean is great. For the most part, again, we'll get to that. Max discovers he's been left home alone, and he, of course, acts all crazy like in the other movies. Yeah, okay, let's be real. If a kid had no parents around, the first thing he would do is look up porn.
All right, Internet, show me your worst. Well played, Mum and Dad.
Okay, I'm adding a star to this movie because you're the first Home Alone to actually address that. Okay, 2/3 a star. He dresses in his parents' clothes. Really don't remember his mom being the same height as him. And he reenacts Scarface. Okay, he asked an elf on a shelf not to tell Santa he swore, but he knows Scarface. Also, is his mom an heiress to the M&M empire? Where did he get all that candy? Don't worry though, you can like this reboot because they acknowledge reboots are dumb.
To get your ugly, yellow, no good
Oh,
keister.
this is garbage. I don't know why they were always trying to remake the classics.
You know, when Orson Welles says here under protest is beef burgers, it doesn't really put me in the mood to enjoy beef burgers. Matrix 4. Not that I expect a Home Alone sequel to be subtle.
Whoa! Ho! Nearly lost your house there, Pamela Ding Dong.
If only the gingerbread family had steady candy income, or a gumdrop doll stolen by a gingerbread boy.
We get it, bro!
Oh, don't pretend you're Home Alone. I mean, I know you're technically Home Alone, but don't pretend you're Home Alone. It does lead to a funny moment where Pam imagines everybody telling her to save the house, including the stolen doll.
We have the key.
Pam, you have to call me. Hi, Gavin Washington, Realtor
No, Fräulein! No!
You know, the idea of making a 6 Home Alone does seem like a nightmare, so why not shoot this like a fever dream? They go out into the storm to see if they can break into the house and get the doll back. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking, okay, they'll try this once and obviously fail, leading to comedic hijinks. And even though this isn't particularly funny, the two of them, I do buy as an awkward couple having never committed a crime. It is kind of adorable.
I watched an episode of Locked Up earlier today on demand.
Let's go get it!
Can you unlock the door?
Yeah.
I even, believe it or not, buy Buzz returning as a police officer. I'll be honest, after 2, I want to see him evolve into an insane rich businessman, but a cop abusing his power? In Chicago? That ain't far-fetched.
I'm so sorry we wasted your time.
It's also clever that the couple acts like it's their home, and when they're not arrested, the kid thinks he can't trust the police because they'll find out he's home alone and put his mom away.
Why did you have to tell anyone, Max?
Also, when Buzz is told there's a child left behind in the house, he thinks it's a prank because his brother Kevin, who now owns the security company, keeps pranking him.
That is a prank call. My little brother Kevin, he called in the 289 to mess with me. The idiot does it every year.
Okay. Aside from that being crazy illegal to do, in fact, maybe he's the one that grew up into the rich, crazy businessman. I still find a lot of this reasoning pretty funny. So far, I'm still on board enough. It's stupid, but it's getting more chuckles than some of the other sequels, and I'm weirdly buying the excuses for how they're repeating the same scenario. Repeating some of these lines, though.
Trout sniffer.
Just like the real language a cop would use.
Is that a coincidence? I don't think so.
Fear not, we need only 90 more callbacks to officially be a Christmas Story sequel. Yet somehow it'd still have less than Home Alone 2. Church on Christmas Eve. Now I know they aren't the real crooks. Real crooks don't walk into church. They burst into salt that turns into mummies. When the realtor tells them they got a bite on the house.
But I've got some news. Houston, we have an offer.
You know, if you're gonna make a joke about dated 90s references.
It's not 1993. What's your next idea? Should I beep him after I listen to the new MC Hammer joint?
Maybe don't make dated 90s references later.
Houston, we have an offer.
Oh wait, what am I talking about? This is clearly a callback to Home Alone 3.
Houston, we have a problem.
This means they have even less time to get the doll. I mean, what, do they think a buyer's instantly gonna snatch it up as soon as they post it online? I don't think someone bought this one yet, he was looking up. And they try sneaking in again to get it.
Why is the wall so high? It's not like it's Buckingham Palace.
It's at this point your stomach might be sinking as you're thinking to yourself, no, they're not gonna be the robbers throughout the whole thing, are they? No, that clearly can't work. It's way too dumb. They're gonna stumble across Keanu Reeves and William Hurt and all will be right. They have to, because, by God, these two as criminals.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, there's really not much to say except it's not funny. They play Fall on Your Knees like that's somehow gonna elevate the humor, but it makes as much sense as playing heavenly music during the Dumb and Dumber toilet scene. Because that scene is perfect the way it is and nothing can save this one. There's a cute fake out where they break into the wrong house, but that just makes this all feel like an even bigger waste of time. Because they decide later they're just gonna come back the same night. Max overhears this and of course sets up all the traps. Do you have to play this music? We know you're not gonna recapture the magic of the first one. Hell, even when they tried it with the second one, they still didn't recapture the magic. You think 6 is the lucky one that's finally gonna pull it off? Jeff dresses up like Santa Claus because I guess they're stealing part 1 of Marv and Harry's plan.
It's Santa Claus. And it's Elf.
Again, it's not like they haven't stolen enough from the first film. But the car crashes because Max sprayed water not on the driveway, but the entire street. Yeah, just ignore that pile of cars stacked up next to him and this scene's hilarious. Actually, no, it's not, because as many critics before me have pointed out, having these two as the antagonists for the third act makes no sense. We like seeing Harry and Marv get their comeuppance because they're bad people doing bad things. In fact, Kevin hurts them so much we almost feel sorry for them. But again, almost, they're still bad people. This is just a sweet couple trying to save their house. I don't want to laugh at them. I want them to save their friggin' house.
Orange stripe, center pocket.
No. Screw you, you little brat, you little doll-stealing brat. I'm not on your side at all. And that's the other thing. When this kid has someone to work off of as a relatable antagonist, even if it's just his mom, he works. He knows how to give a verbal insult a good verbal comeback. When he's just saying one-liners while this bad slapstick is happening, he doesn't pull it off.
Thumbs away! You know, I guess my mom was right.
soda is bad for you.
We'll see about that.
See ya.
I can't blame them. This is just an awful scenario. The traps are laid out for comedy, and that's exactly what I think they're torturing with it. Comedy.
He's hurting me, Pam.
Me too.
Why is he doing this to us, Pam?
That'd be hilarious if Marv said that to Harry. But here it's just pathetically sad.
One.
I haven't laughed this hard since Angela's Ashes. Why is this supposed to be entertaining? Maybe from like a dark, twisted standpoint, somebody thought this could work. Like I remember hearing about a sequel Chris Columbus wanted to do where Kevin, as an adult, tries breaking into Marv and Harry's house after they've reformed and he's gone mad. Hell, a lot of parodies of the first film have been made in a dark and twisted way that make a lot more sense and get a lot more wonderfully mean-spirited laughs. That is not what is happening with this film, though.
Harry Potter turned me into a pincushion.
Even the traps are kind of lame.
Am I dead? Is this dead?
Oh!
That's too high, I'm up too high. Oh.
Yeah, oh no, I'm on a cliff! A very pixely, screenish looking cliff with this weight over my eyes. This is awful! So yeah, when people talk about this being the worst one, these are probably the moments they're referring to. It's actually kind of unbelievable to think a franchise that has done this formula 5 other times could mess up the basic qualifications so spectacularly. Their family's losing their home. Idiots! That'll teach you to, I don't know, have your kids grow up in a warm, nostalgic house. Why do you want me to laugh at this?
We just want our doll back.
What doll?
Finally, somebody gets a clue and says something. As it turns out, he doesn't have the doll. It just looked like he stole it. Oh, and it also turns out they didn't know he was there alone.
If we had known you were staying here by yourself, we would have handled things a lot differently.
We would have just sniper shot you. It would have been a lot easier. Isn't this just what you wanted to see? The little boy fighting off the house burglars, embracing the house burglars. Was the trout you were sniffing full of glue?
So you go to this kid's house.
They explain everything to Jeff's brother, which, Jesus Christ, I'm having a hard time explaining this to you. I can't imagine how they did it. And it turns out the doll was taken by the brother's kid the whole time. Oh, so the lesson is it doesn't matter where you live. It's all about the love you show each other. Nope, they're still beating the shit out of each other trying to get this thing. Yay, the doll is saved just as Mom gets home. So we've learned people are important. I mean, money and property are far more important, but I don't know. It's a bad movie. Gotta love the way they try to justify the title, though.
Home is where the heart is. Sweet home, Alabama.
Homer's Odyssey. Where do they wind up at the end?
Home. They end up at home.
It's a wonderful Home Alone. 3 minutes to credits, man. We get 3 minutes to credits. You know, why didn't Marv and Harry have dinner with Kevin afterwards? Dumb!
To new friends and family.
To break-ins, not willing to let go, and a movie none of us will be putting on our resumes. And that was not the worst, but arguably the most intriguingly bad Home Alone sequel. It really is one of those scenarios where you shout, what were they thinking? The movie wasn't great, but it was passable for a while as a little Disney Plus flick. When you finally realize, though, the bad guys are also the good guys, all the fun is sucked out. Not that it was a ton before, but it was enough. But hey, if there's anything I've learned about these films, it's that there's never enough. And there's always another one to make whether we want one or not. Though with this one, I do appreciate they put more effort into it than some of the others. The missteps are just way too big to overlook. If the original is what you watch to get in the magical Christmas mood, then this is the corporate, misguided sellout to bring you back to reality. Ho, ho, ho. I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and I'll see you at No Way Home Alone. Tell me they wouldn't make that! Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Why? Doth it be December? I better change! Yeah, close, but totally off. Play the thing. Well, I've talked about all the bad Home Alone movies, might as well talk about the only good one. The truth is, I'm so hard on the sequels because I really do greatly enjoy the original film. Even if back in 1990, it didn't exactly get the best reviews. The response among critics was mixed, as many saw it as unbalanced between mean-spirited and cornily gimmicky. I disagree, but I can't say I don't know where they're coming from. This film does a lot of things that should not work, as proven not only by the lame sequels, but also the countless knockoffs that tried similar kid-centered slapstick. It repeats a ton of jokes with few variations, has admittedly several forced cutesy moments, and does go back and forth between being aggressively harsh and aggressively kid-friendly. But I think the atmosphere, freshness of the idea, and genuine joy felt from the people making it balance all those elements out. I totally acknowledge this shouldn't work, but the film has a feel for when you want an aggressive moment, a funny moment, a heartfelt moment, or even a repeated joke. So it feels less uneven and more like you're getting a little bit of everything, which is why so many people watch it around this time of year. It was a huge hit when it came out, it's still enjoyed all over the world, and we're gonna take a look at why. So to all the peeps who know the value of just a good plain cheese pizza, let's take a look at the original Home Alone. The film opens in Chicago because writer John Hughes says, I can outmain Stephen King, where we see the McAllister family getting ready for a trip to Paris. One child named Kevin, played by Macaulay Culkin, is feeling particularly overlooked.
Uncle Frank won't let me watch the movie. It's not even rated R. He's just being a jerk.
So I've certainly talked about Culkin's acting in films shortly after this, and again, he was the biggest child star in the world. A lot of things were going on in his life. You can't be too harsh on him. Here, though, he really is pitch perfect. Once in a while, he can be a little too cute and hammy, but I think that's intentional to balance out the more aggressive moments. He has a very distinct way of talking that's not too grown up like Fred Savage in The Wizard, but also not too childish like the Olsen twins in Full House. This allows for a world where you feel for this kid but acknowledge a slapsticky climax can happen. And Culkin finds the middle ground in his performance to help that world feel like it can exist.
This house is so full of people. It makes me sick. When I grow up and get married, I'm living alone.
When he needs to be hammy for a laugh, he can do it. When he needs to be emotional for a heavier moment, he can do it. All these years later, I still see this as a good performance. With that said, man, what a family of assholes.
The dope was whining about a suitcase. Don't you know how to knock phlegm wad? What am I supposed to do? Shake his hand and say, congratulations, you're an idiot?
Look what you did, you little jerk.
This film has certainly gotten a lot of flack for making the family too mean, but it helps if you've ever known a bigger family. Not at all to say bigger families are always chaotic, but the holidays, and especially going on a trip, they usually are. Everybody's insecurities and stresses are passed downwards, so it's not surprising some people would get ignored. Chris Columbus even said he thought Kevin was a bit of a brat when he first read the script, but after having his own kids, he realized this is kind of par of the course.
Get upstairs.
I am upstairs, dummy. I don't want any family. Families suck.
It's a house full of people, yet ironically, there's nowhere to unload your stress because everyone is so stressed out. So it comes out like,
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
Well, that's nowhere near the harshness of Trout Sniffer, but still pretty rough. But he says a genuinely nice thing at the end.
It's pretty cool that you didn't burn the place down.
Thanks, Buzz.
And if you've ever had an older bully pain in the ass brother, you know what a big deal that is. They notice their creepy neighbor Marley salting the sidewalks, which somehow these kids find a way to make scary.
See that garbage can full of salt? That's where he keeps his victims. The salt turns the bodies into mummies.
Okay, there's two movies I want made from this. One, clearly Angels with Filthy Souls, that goes without saying. And the other is this Salt Mummy movie. I don't care if it's another Walking Dead spinoff, somebody make this happen! Kevin finally has enough of everybody mocking him, so he attacks Buzz, causing absolute chaos.
Stop me!
Help me out.
No, let's get these passports out of here.
I must have seen this movie a million times and I never noticed Kevin's plane ticket being tossed in the trash. Nobody will have questioned where his ticket was, but they threw that in, and it's appreciated. The same way we appreciate Pete forcing us to form fan theories about how this is the same universe. The explanation is young Pete was put in a mental ward and nobody talks about it. Kevin's mother, played by Catherine O'Hara, has had enough of his outbursts and sends him upstairs right after a supposed cop, played by Joe Pesci, warns her not to trust anyone this time of year, so she and her husband trust him this time of year and tell him all their security details.
Automatic timers for our lights, locks for our doors. That's about as well as anybody can do these days, right?
I don't know what's more disturbing, how easy it was to get that information or how easy it was to get a cop uniform to get that information. Wait a minute. Bullies? Damn you, convincing spirit Halloween clearance aisle!
You're the only one acting up.
Kevin's told to sleep in the attic as Fuller will join him later.
I don't want a super Fuller. You know about him. He wets the bed. He'll pee all over me.
And according to this show, when he gets older, he might show me other things I don't want to see down there. Kevin wishes they'd all disappear, and faster than you can say hello,
ironic twist!
Power goes out and the family leaves without him.
Did we miss the flight?
No, you just made it. Yeah! Single seats only in coach. Take whatever's free.
On American Airlines? Pfft, isn't their tagline? Hey, at least we're not Spirit. You'd be happier with Spirit.
Mom?
Kevin wakes up to an empty home filled with nothing but advent calendar colors. Seriously, there was a time when not every Christmas movie looked like this. You could argue this production design was eaten back then to fart out Christmas rom-coms now. And he thinks he made his family disappear.
You're completely helpless. No, Kevin, you're what the French call les incompétents.
I like his memory of what they said is more exaggerated than how they actually said it. Though not by much.
There are 15 people in this house, and you're the only one who has to make trouble.
15 people in this house. You're the only one who has to make trouble.
Hell, some lines weren't even said.
Kevin, I'm going to feed you to my tarantula.
And you can see why. Even for Buzz, that's a weird insult. So Kevin decides to enjoy the house all to himself.
No clothes on anybody. Sickening.
They could use some fursuits.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
To make sure he didn't break a little girl's heart, Chris Columbus actually dressed up a little boy to be Buzz's girlfriend. Though that does raise the question, if anyone found out who this little boy was, how would that have impacted him?
I'm going through all your private stuff. You better come out and pound me.
I also like he keeps announcing what he's doing to the family he still thinks might be there. I like this not only because he's almost checking to see if he's really gonna get away with all this, but also to see if he can taunt them out. Like there is a small part of him that doesn't want to be without them.
Guys, I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. You better come out and stop me.
He watches violent film noirs, which by God, really look like an old film noir. And he rides his sled down the stairs and out the door. Thank God he teleported from the Hollywood set to Chicago because the way this is lined up, he clearly would not have made it through that door.
5 families gone on 1 block alone. They all told me from their own mouths.
The cop from earlier is revealed to be a burglar named Harry, and with his partner Marv, played by Daniel Stern, they use the information they got from people to break into their homes, starting with Kevin's.
Which way?
Go around back down the basement. Come on, follow me.
I give credit that for as silly as this film can get, it can still be a little scary. Kevin doesn't just jump to immediate genius like a lot of knockoff films that followed. He's legit scared like any boy would be. Thankfully, though, the parents realize they left Kevin home alone and they run down, I'm pretty sure still O'Hara Airport, they're just saying it's France now. And they try calling the cops to have someone check on him as they try to find a flight back.
Has the child ingested any poison and or any other object has become lodged in his throat?
I don't know. I hope not.
Fun fact, this one take of the donut falling on the phone was so funny they had to actually edit around it to make sure it matched the other scenes. That's why it randomly cuts back to that donut falling for seemingly no reason. Again, that must have taken more time than what was needed, but everyone I know gets a big laugh out of that detail.
We'll send a policeman over to your house to check on your son.
Kevin is still so scared of the burglars, he doesn't answer the cop at the door.
There's no one home. I'm the counter kids again.
Sounds like Chicago PD. As Kevin's mother decides to hop from plane to plane, trying to get back as quickly as possible.
I'm not leaving here unless it's on an airplane.
If you want to stay at the airport, maybe we can get you on standby.
Yes. I'll wait.
Seems like this do show the family does legit care. And Catherine O'Hara, just like Culkin, finds that perfect balance between being funny and genuinely heartfelt.
Somebody pick up.
I love how almost psychotically obsessed she becomes with getting back to her son.
If I have to sell my soul to the devil himself, I am going to get home to my son.
So much so, she completely overlooks Elvis is behind her. No, that's a theory, man, before whatever the hell we think now. All conspiracy theories used to have Elvis in them.
I wash my hair with the Don't Formula shampoo and use cream rinse for that Just Wash Shine.
We partake in the phase Culkin has sworn he'll never do again. I don't blame him. And he goes to the store where he runs into Marley. Calm down, I ate who I killed.
Shoplifter!
Kevin runs away with a toothbrush, beginning probably the most intense chase over dental equipment ever. Again, Chicago PD. But he gets away, running into Marv and Harry, robbing another house. Or rather, they almost run into him with this reverse shot. When you play that backwards, realizing how well they timed it, that is pretty impressive.
Merry Christmas.
When Kevin puts together Harry was the cop from the night before, Harry sees his reaction and starts following him.
Why is he going faster?
See, I knew he looked at me weird. Why would he run?
Well, gee, if two guys in a van slowly drove behind me like this, I'd make sure my running legs still work. He gives him the slip, though, when they think he went into the church, which they don't want to go into due to smoting.
Maybe we're in the church.
I'm not going in there.
Me neither.
I'm Jewish.
I'm Confucianist.
Really? I like Kevin disguises himself in the nativity, almost like even he thought they would follow him into the church. And later that night, he prepares for their return. How far-fetched. Clearly a bozo pool puppet made in seconds is far more believable. Kevin orders a pizza, and yes, the statue constantly getting knocked over never builds to anything, but I just love nobody ever tells them it got knocked over. And Kevin uses the movie he watched to make it sound like an adult ordered it.
How much do I owe you?
That'll be $11.80, sir.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Some people make a very good living using clips that way. Isn't that right?
You shall not pass!
I've done other ones that are funny.
Before I pump your guts full of lead.
Ha! Take this stage shooting guy just doing his job. Keep the change for your lifetime of therapy bills.
I'm dreaming.
We once again do the same aftershave joke. They just really wanted a poster, I guess. And we partake in my personal favorite dialogue of the movie when he goes shopping for groceries.
My mom's in the car.
Where's your father?
He's at work.
Your brothers and your sisters.
I'm an only child.
Where do you live?
I can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because you're a stranger.
Marv and Harry are still obsessed with why the house seems filled with people, so one of them sneaks around to have, you guessed it, the exact same joke happen again.
10.
Okay, to all the critics who don't like this movie, to some degree you're right, this technically shouldn't be funny. But I think Stern's hilarious reactions and even funnier conversation afterwards just breathes new life into this joke.
I thought I recognized one of their voices. I know I heard that name Snakes before. I don't know no snakes.
He sounded like a snake.
I just love we never figure out who real world Snakes is or how Marv knows him. Clearly that'll be the plot for Home Alone 7.
What? Excuse me.
After Kevin's mother gets stranded at one of the many airports she's been to, a poker player, played by John Candy, offers her a ride.
I had a few hits a few years ago. That's why I, just polka, 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 polka.
He shot all his scenes in a full 24 hours with no sleep, never complained about it, and it probably goes without saying, but just about all of his and O'Hara's lines were made up on the spot. Which I guess makes sense. This is kind of an SCTV reunion.
Damavuji polka, kiss me polka, polka twist.
Well, these are songs.
Yeah.
To this day, I still think the story about leaving the kid at the funeral parlor is the single funniest thing John Candy has ever improvised.
He was there alone all day with a corpse. Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. And I came around, started talking again.
Now that's an Uncle Buck movie I want to see! Marv and Harry eventually put together that Kevin is home alone, and he overhears they're going to come back later that night.
That house is the only reason we started working this block in the first place. Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it.
You have a very odd white whale. Kevin goes to the authorities to tell him about the crime that's about to take place, or he goes to a fake Santa played by that guy from Herman's Head. Enjoy that unlocked memory.
Instead of presents this year, I just want my family back.
Okay.
Well, again, since nobody calls the cops in this town, though would it really make things better? I'll just hop in this car that really did die on set as it was driving off. This movie has the best worst luck, doesn't it? Kevin goes to church because we know there's no robbers in there.
I'm not going in there.
Me neither.
And Columbus had a tricky time getting across to the owners. He wanted it to look nice, but also a little creepy. I think to a lot of kids, church can be a pretty intimidating place, and Columbus wanted that to come across like Kevin is confronting something he's a little afraid of. Which makes sense as he stumbles across Marley, who he, of course, discovers is a really sweet guy.
Christmas.
Prepare to die.
Been a good boy this year?
I think so.
Swear to it?
No.
He says he's there to see his granddaughter sing because he had a falling out with his son.
And I said I didn't care to see him anymore. He said the same. We haven't spoken to each other since.
They both give each other advice, and when I was younger, my favorite moments were the zany slapstick and funny insults, but now that I'm older, the Marley scenes are by far my favorite. They take what, let's be honest, would be a perfectly serviceable Christmas comedy and turn it into a Christmas classic.
I'm afraid if I call him, he won't talk to me.
Aren't you a little old to be afraid?
You can be a little old for a lot of things. You're never too old to be afraid.
I got a car that'll scare the shit out of you. After he has a nice talk, the kick-ass John Williams music kicks in. How is it this composer is so good he can make even setting up Micro Machines sound epic? And did I say the grocery store scene was the funniest moment? Oh, I actually said it was the John Candy story. Screw it. Harry getting shot in the balls is the funniest thing ever filmed.
Open the door!
Not only is his reaction great, not only is his Yosemite Samming swear words fantastic.
What? What? What happened?
But this sound design should have gotten an Oscar just for that crotch shot sound effect. That is a wet crackle crunch, and it is what every crotch shot needs to be spectacular. Again, it probably goes without saying, but these stunts are both very funny and very impressive. I still don't know if the timing of this was dumb luck or if they legit planned it. Every trap really looks like it hurts, but it never goes too far in taking us out of the comedy. Except one, and you all know what it is. Now, since that commercial with the little toenail goblin, if people cringed grabbing their feet so hard. His scream, though, is almost like permission from the movie saying, yeah, as he releases that yell, you can release your laughter.
Heads up!
I can't possibly go over every trap, there's just so damn many, but my favorite after the crotch shot is the scene with the spider. Which, by the way, Stern had to do in silence so he wouldn't scare the spider, and I'm not gonna lie, that might have worked a little better. But this lovingly betrayed look Harry gives to Marv is some of Pesci's best acting.
Marv, what are you doing? Marv.
That is a look of my friend, my confidant of so many years. I refuse to believe you're capable of this. There is more heartbreak in that look than when Padme literally says you're breaking my heart. And that just turns into a Three Stooges bit, which just makes me laugh harder.
Come and get me before I call the police.
You're gonna call the cops. He's not calling from a treehouse.
This is 1990. Only rich people have cell phones. Now continue to help me rob the house of these rich people. He cuts the line and makes his way to the next house where Marv and Harry finally get the drop on him.
First thing I'm gonna do is bite off every one of these little fingers, one at a time.
I think most people know when Pesci said he was gonna bite his fingers off, he did accidentally bite Culkin's finger, leaving a scar. At least we think it was an accident. If I just won an Oscar and I had to return to set where a mini catchphrase machine was the star, I might nip him too. And thankfully, people always discussing that story distracts folks from the less than stellar look-alike for Marley. Did David Hyde Pierce do stunt work back then? The cops arrest the burglars, and the next day, Kevin's mother finally returns home.
Merry Christmas, sweetheart.
I think it's important that Kevin should be a little standoffish. It makes the scene feel more real if he needs an apology from her.
Oh, Kevin, I'm so sorry.
Thankfully, though, he doesn't need much. Again, I really love how well both these two handle the comedy and emotional moments. When you realize just how little they're on screen together, yet you totally buy their love for each other, that's just straight up good acting.
No, I didn't fall asleep in the back.
Even the rest of the family shows up taking the later flight, and they all give Kevin respect for holding down the fort, even getting errands done.
What else did you do while we were away?
Just hung around.
No, literally, I hung the corpses of 5 other burglars that tried to get in this weekend. Are we at George Costanza's favorite scene yet? What's my favorite scene too? Not only is the music amazing, the build-up perfectly timed, the camera work wonderfully composed, but Culkin gives my favorite acting of his from anything. That is the most genuine, joyful, loving look that is 100% believable. It requires no dialogue, just an honest, heartfelt reaction. it's about as perfect a Christmas moment as you can get. Which just makes the follow-up line even funnier.
Kevin! What did you do to my room?
Don't act like I don't know why the Playboys are sticky! And that is the original, the classic, the best, Home Alone. I love it for the same reasons you love it, but acknowledge for those who don't, it is understandable. It really is lightning in a bottle that can't be replicated no matter how many times they tried, and as I mentioned several times before, it probably should have failed. If you were to describe a lot of this film to me, I'm not sure I would see it becoming a Christmas classic. But the movie has a very instinctual feel to it. Like, even though it was hitting beats that wouldn't work in other films, it was doing it in a way that felt humorously purposeful. I think a lot of that comes from the amazing cast. I mean, everybody is top-notch in this. The elegant directing, the balanced writing, the beautiful music, and the lack of assumption. Nobody really expected anything big from this when it came out. So I think the fact that so much effort did come across on screen was a welcome surprise. It took the world by storm, and it's not that hard to see why. It's funny, it's touching, it's memorable, and it knows how to represent Christmas without even feeling like it's trying. I've seen it over 1,000,000 times, and I can assure you, I'm gonna see it at least 1,000,000 more. I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.